Here come the subs for Reading.
Good timing.
Marco Marni makes way. And the 1500th Royals player in history, Jack Marriott, comes on for his debut, signed this week from Wrexham. And he's going to go down the middle.
A momentous occasion for our football club, 1,500 players. What's your involvement in all of this?
I've been helping Nigel Meek, who's our statistical wizard, and with some help from the late Alan Sedunary, to compile the list of all the first team competitive matches in which people have made their debut. So what we have now is a list of 1,500 men who've played competitive first team football for Reading. And I think 1,500 is quite a big number. Don't know of any other clubs that have got that far. You might find that, I don't know, Aston Villa or Everton have got that far. But the idea was inspired by looking at both what the England football and England cricket teams have done, where there's a little number on the breast. And a number of other football clubs have been through the same exercise. But we've found it a little more tricky than most, and I'll tell you why.
Well, I've already got so many questions because there's so much history, and I don't want to reveal your age either, but you definitely weren't here for most of it. So how did you go to the very start? How did you find out those names, those numbers, those dates?
We rely on newspapers very largely. We can go back in terms of finding competitive matches to our first ever FA Cup game, which was in 1877. But there are lineups for matches before that, which are kind of challenge or friendly games. But the great difficulty is finding out which competitions are considered first team competitive in their day. And when we were in the Southern League between 1894 and 1920, it was obvious that the Southern League matches were first team competitive, but there were other leagues that we played in to give players, extra, opportunity to play because there weren't that many fixtures, and also for the club to make extra money from holding midweek fixtures. So there's a fine balance there, deciding which of those competitions were first team and which weren't.
It's not just you guys though coming up with these rules and these, say, regulations around this. You're in contact with people like you at other clubs.
That's right, yeah. There's a WhatsApp group for men like me and worse who are compilers, not only of the statistics, but the rules that go behind the statistics.
Roger, this seems to me like a real labour of love, is that right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. A love of statistics as well as a love of football and a love of history.
Second half against Port Vale, the 1,500th player came off the bench. Jack Marriott, the 1,500th Royal. Come on up, Jack. Happy birthday, Jack. Happy birthday, Jack.
Thank you.
How does it feel to be 1,500 on this esteemed list?
Incredibly proud. Yeah, it's a hell of an achievement. The club's one of the oldest, like's been said. So yeah, it's great.
You're forever etched in history now.
Special, isn't it? Got to make some more history now, haven't we?
Exactly. You're already off the mark, so we get some more goals soon.
Hopefully so.
Well, you always know what the time is now as well.
Yeah, you're right. Thank you very much.
Let's look at these numbers then. 917, Robin Friday. Michael Gilks, 991. I mean, every player's going to want to know their number, aren't they? I guess.
Yeah. The oldest number there, I think, that's still connected with the club is Mike Kearney, who still drives the van for the youth players, I think. And he's about I've forgotten. About 899. You've got the list.
Got the list here. Obviously, Noel Hunt's on there too,
Yeah.
Michael Ledgerwood. But let's talk about Jack Marriott. The 1,500, that's never going to escape him now. He's written into history.
That's right. I mean, he can have a tattoo at his own expense with that. And maybe he'll get a presentation shirt with 1,500 on it. But yeah, he came on in, I think, the second half against Port Vale on the 30th of August 2025. So he made 1,500. Number one was about November the 15th, 1877. Stanley Hayward, a future mayor of Reading, a fate that I doubt will befall Jack.
You never know.
You don't.
Now, I mentioned this on the commentary of the Port Vale game. A few Reading fans have been in contact. Barry sent me a message soon after saying, how do you decide on the order? Because, for example, if 4 players make their debut, which in the transfer window system is possible, you could have 4 new starters. How do you decide their numbers?
Yeah, this is a tricky one. I'll try and remember what I put in that email to you. But essentially, if a number of players make the debut at the same time, then their order is in positional order from goalkeeper to outside left in the traditional 1 to 11 format. If players come on substitutes, it's in order that they come on in terms of time. If 2 players come on as substitute at the same time, it is then done in alphabetical order of surname. I hope that's right.
This sounds incredibly complicated, and as we said, a labour of love. I get the impression you really enjoy this, Roger.
Yeah, I like all this sort of stuff. I mean, if we've got 150 years of history in the club, and we are one of the oldest clubs in the world, possibly in the top 10, who knows, then we should celebrate all this stuff. And frankly, a lot of good stuff that happened for this football club happened before we joined the Football League, and a lot of people don't know that.
History is so important, isn't it? Obviously, recent history has been turbulent for Reading, but in 150 years' time, who knows where we'll be and what number we'll be on.
That's an interesting point. When I ask people to guess how many players have played for Reading over that period, we get some enormous numbers put forward. I think one of your colleagues at the club suggested something like 20,000. But the numbers are accelerating. We had 200 debuts in 30 years, going from I think 1956 to 86. But we've had 200 debuts in about 12 years, in the most recent 12 years.
We're going to put it on the club website so people can go and pause through the list at their leisure, which I'm sure many people will. Wouldn't it be lovely if we could get this list somewhere at the stadium?
It would be great. It would be great. It'd be lovely to have that display. It will take up quite a lot of room, so let's see what we can do with it.
Well, your work for Nigel and Alan and for Star, this is, like I say, a huge amount of work, a labour of love nonetheless, still a huge effort. So thank you on behalf of everyone to do with the football club for compiling our history for us.
Cheers, and thank you, Nigel, for doing the great deal of the grunt work behind it. So I'm just sitting here taking quite a bit of the credit. And
finally, are you prepared for the huge amount of questions you're no doubt going to get now on a match day when people see you around the stadium saying, what about this? Or what happens with this? Because there's going to be lots.
Yeah, I will be spending the next 2 or 3 weeks learning the list from beginning to end. So, it will take me a little while, but there you go. That's what a memory's for.
I've got a feeling you'll get there.
Thank you.